joint health. So when we're looking at kind of joint popping, joint pain, we got another text this morning about like, hey, you know, when I run, whenever I work out, I feel my joints hurt a little bit. Is that just me getting old? So when we're looking at that stuff and we're trying to keep our joints healthy, a lot of it is motion. Like, are we actually doing the right mobility stuff that we need to keep our joints lubricated, to keep them moving, to keep pressure off of them? So the best kind of way to handle that routine is to start doing some mobility work, start rolling out. We've got a bunch of videos on rolling out. Start rolling out the muscles above and below the joint. So start loosening that stuff up in there. If you are not already taking it and you're very active, start taking a collagen supplement. We do a hydrolyzed collagen powder. I put that into some tea or some coffee, put a tablespoon or two. If you are having some joint noise, some crepitus or some joint pain, take 2 tablespoons of that twice a day, and you'll start to get that collagen in, which is what your body's going to use to keep joints healthy. The other thing that I would take is something called Cissus quadrangularis. Again, we'll spell that for y'all in the chat. Start taking some Cissus. That one is very specific in what it does from an inflammatory standpoint inside the joint itself. So very, very helpful. And then I would be taking, you know, start drinking you some turmeric tea, or I would take a little turmeric supplement to make sure there's no inflammation in there. If we do have a little bit of friction there, then what I would do is make sure that you're taking enough of that stuff. If you like the powder ones, I like NeoCell. That's one that we carry here, and I like Great Lakes. Those are the two that tend to be the best, mainly because there's no flavor. And you know, they're very easy. They dissolve really, really well. I can put it in tea and have no idea that it's really in there. And so those are the two that I've done. I've liked them. There, you can take a pill form. I have a few patients who don't drink anything hot. I would say, look, hey, it's tea time. Drink some tea. But if you are in that, there is a capsule form that I think would help as well. But those are the two that I would start with if you're looking at the powder form. And so make sure you're keeping mobility in those joints. You know, if you are a mesomorphic person, so somebody who carries more muscle mass, you need to spend your, you know, 5th or 6th day of the week working out in mobility. You know, you need to make sure that you are actually getting all of those joints loosened up. You need to get all those muscles around that joint very nice and loose and supple, so they're moving and your joints can move and glide and slide how they're supposed to. If you're an ectomorphic person, you have trouble putting muscle mass on, you need to make sure that your joints stay very stable while you're working out. And so what I would actually do in that situation is add an extra day of some strength work and stability work, so that your joints are staying really nice and stable. I see people all across the spectrum in there, and they're creating little bits of joint stress because they're not getting the mobility or stability they need to keep their joints healthy. So from an activity standpoint, add that in based on what you need. If you feel like those joints are starting to kind of go through the aging process, start taking some collagen, start taking some Cissus quadrangularis. You'll start to notice after, you know, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, man, I feel better. My tissues feel better. I can actually start moving and do this stuff, and I don't get real sores.